What's happening, guys? This is excaliburOneX, and it has been a while since I've actually made a video or anything. I think it's been like a year, I think. Anyway, yeah, lots been changing since I last posted videos. I was gonna continue on, but I've been saying ever since, like for the past, ever since I've been making videos, I've just kind of lost inspiration to make some. But I am working on a project right now. I'm not gonna tell what it's about, but it is going to be a machinima, and I really hope it does well. I mean. I wanted to do this for a while, but I decided that I can really put this into action if I get the right people, and I'm working on that right now. And hopefully I'll get the right materials and the right people to help me with this job. But for now, I have been active on Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. Normally on Facebook, I post reviews of movies on my Facebook page for notes and my friends to talk about and one such. But I decided that for this movie, it was just it was so different. It was so unique. I felt that it'd be better. I can't really put into words about this film. I'm gonna write the review anyway, but I felt better that if I just go into a more in-depth conversation about this, about Snow White and the Huntsman, because this is something. This is something different. I didn't expect this. So, first off, let me just say that um, I don't like the idea of nowadays, not developers, publishers, but moviegoers, producers, big companies. They're Paramount, DreamWorks. They're making these, not just them, but anybody, any movie company that makes these movies, like out of nice, happy Disney fairy tales we all know and love. Snow White came out in, I think, the 30s, and that was a while back. And now they're making these movies. They're either big, violent thrillers, or just either that or just really weird, kooky, I guess, movies, which is like Alice in Wonderland, which was sort of, it was serious, but it was kind of silly. But anyway, as for this, I don't like the idea. Just keep them the same way. I know it's already bad enough that Disney and others are making 3D releases of movies like Lion King. That's fine, but now they're making a 3D Finding Nemo in theaters. That's just literally wasting your money. Do not go to see that. It's a waste of time. I don't care how much you love the movie. It's not worth it. But as for everything else, it's just the whole idea with Disney making these thrillers out of these nice fairy tales, or mostly nice fairy tales. It's a cop out, and it just doesn't seem right. It's a good way for people to get a job, but geez, how can people be so lazy nowadays? Anyway, there are two movies that came out that are about Snow White that came out this year. There was Mirror Mirror, which was more family friendly. It starred Julia Roberts and a couple other smaller name people, but were in movies before. And it was silly. It was more of a family friendly, like I said. But this one is supposed to be like the serious one, directed toward the more mature audiences. The weird thing, though, is while I was watching this movie, which, by the way, it's surprisingly violent, like surprisingly, ugh. While I was watching this, there was like this 8-year-old girl that was right in front of me, like, and I heard other kids around the theater too, and I was shocked, and I was thinking, are you parents so stupid that you can't realize that this movie is directed towards the more mature audiences? Are you? I've lost my faith in humanity now. I really think that I can't fathom why parents would take these kids to these movies. The trailer alone should be a good idea that this is not for kids. This is the last thing that's for kids. It's about violence. It's about horror, shock. It's taking the really dark essence of Snow White and just expanding upon it. Why do you take kids to these movies? It's not going to make them mature. It's going to make them scared out of their heads. Granted, I watched Jurassic Park, which was like my first rated PG-13 movie when I was 12. And because, thank God for that. Jurassic Park was awesome. My first rated R movie was when I was like 14, and that was a comedy, for God's sakes. Anyway, though, I hate this. I really cannot stand that they take these kids, these really bad, big, violent movies, and really big, dark, toned movies, and expect them to be okay with it. It's idiots. Anyway, the whole movie in general, it's so strange. The movie is about it's not really Snow White. It's not the story of Snow White. It's just but it has the name and the IP, intellectual property and all that junk. But basically, this movie is about there's a kingdom, king and queen. They have a daughter, and they named the daughter Snow White because the mother loved the winter, and like she wanted a daughter that was, skin white, and not racist or anything, but they named her Snow White, and it was nice and pretty. And during the time, so eventually the mother got sick of something, and she died in the wintertime. Little girl sad. She has her only real friend is this like little bit older boy, which it's fine, typical boy girl, little younger relationship. So after the mother dies, the king goes off and finds this woman. A woman who's like very dirty. She looks like she's been taken capture by these people. But the only thing that isn't really dirty is her face. So her face is absolute beauty, absolutely gorgeous. The king is so hypnotized by her beauty that he decides to marry her the very next day. The second he meets her, he decides to marry her the very next day, which was a stupid idea because right after that, she takes over the whole kingdom, kills the king, brings in her secret army, to take over the kingdom, and takes Snow White and traps her in this dungeon for years, until she's like 18. They don't really actually tell how old she is now, but I'm guessing she's like 18 or 19 or something around that. Anyway, present day, Snow White's played by Kirsten Stewart, and I've seen her in the Twilight movies and also a couple other very small roles for her. And honestly, people have been saying that they love her, but they love her in this role specifically, but I don't feel too fantastic about it. I mean, it's just she still has the same facial expressions. She still has the same old mouth slightly wide open in plenty of scenes. But she puts more of an effort into this role. See, it's not groundbreaking. It's not Emmy awarding or anything, but you could tell she does put some more effort into it than she does with the Twilight movies. So she did fine. And basically, just what happens is the Snow White, she's prisoner and everything. The queen is the new evil ruler queen. She's as young as she always was, like almost 20 years ago, and it's because she steals the life out of young women. She like literally steals the life. I swear I've seen this before. I've seen it. There's a movie or something where a woman steals the life of other women, and helps them become young. I know it's on the tip of my tongue. The first thing I can think of is Tangled, but it's sort of different. It's not like that. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, Snow White realizes that she is going to be killed. Taking the life out of her and everything. Just because she knows that she's seen these like young girls thrown in jail after the queen goes to see her. Like now they're like old women. So she escapes, and the queen's so angry because she finds out by her magic mirror. Snow White. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? The mirror says Snow White is the fairest of them all. That's why she wants to kill Snow White now. So Snow White realizes this and escapes, and the queen sends out a huntsman, which I don't know if they actually say the name of the guy, but he's played by Chris Hemsworth, who also plays as Thor in the movie Thor and Avengers. So he's a pretty cool guy. I did enjoy his acting because I felt that I've only seen him in Thor, and I really felt good about this guy. The character and the way, and like the fighting was so nice. Anyway, they send out this guy. I'm actually looking up on Wikipedia what this guy's name is. I'm going through real quick. Attempts to help Snow White escape from the castle, but fails. Anyway, doesn't matter. So wait. Oh, okay. So his name is Eric. So Eric the Huntsman. So his name is Eric, apparently. So they send out Eric to go capture Snow White, and in return, the queen will bring his wife back from the dead because she can take life. Apparently the townspeople know her power, so they assume that she will apparently bring back life. So yeah, that's really it. I'm not going to go much further into it because I don't want to spoil it for people. All around, let me just first say that they've ripped off this. Some things have been ripped off from other. Let me just rephrase this. This film has ripped off plenty of things from other movies. I was thinking of at least 4 things they ripped off of. There was one bit where people were screaming "Hail to the Queen," which I don't know if it really is a coincidence or not, but it's pretty much just like "Hail to the King," which is Duke Nukem's theme, Duke Nukem's catchphrase. So I don't know if that was coincidence or if that was serious. There's been other few things. There's a few other things that they have ripped off, definitely, but I can't think of them right now. But if you do see this movie, you'll probably notice one or two things. Anyway, I'm kind of losing time here. The acting was really good. I mean, the woman who played the Queen, Sorven, her name is Charlize Theron, and blonde lady and everything. She did so great. I think she was the best actor or actress of the entire movie. She took my breath away. Actually, I was surprised, and I've seen so many movies, and her acting was actually just really, really nice. I was so shocked when I saw this. Chris Hemsworth did great too. Kirsten Stewart, she did fine. I mean, I really wasn't too crazy about it. As for the cinematography, it was very nice. And there was one scene where Snow White does go to this really beautiful forest, and she really kind of captures into it's just, if you see it yourself, it's this great forest. She's walking around. The animals are happy to see her. Everything's nice. It really captures the feel of Snow White. And, of course, there were dwarves in this movie because Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. So there are these dwarves, and they're cute. They're funny. A couple of them actually aren't dwarves. I know one of them, he actually played the villain in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. He was Blackbeard. So looking at him as a dwarf is hilarious. There's one other guy, too. I'm pretty sure he wasn't a dwarf, but everybody else was a dwarf. And they were cool. They were funny. They were the comic relief, and it was fun. It was a fun ride. And what else? Everything was fine. I mean, the writing was fine. I mean, I wasn't crazy about it, but I do like some of the scenes. Directing was great. Let's see, lighting, directing, casting, everything was just nice. Honestly, I don't feel good that I saw it with my mom, and because we both love movies, I don't feel that I don't think that she really was. I don't really feel that we got our money's worth out of this movie. Because we got $14, and I felt that if they really put more effort and more creativity, they could have made this so great. And they just kind of lost even though they did lose. To me, they lost some kind of spark, something. If they had that, this would have been a really worthwhile movie. But all around, at least it entertained me. It was entertaining. You will be enjoying this. I will say first though that there were some. It's not really gory, but there are a couple scenes that are just like kind of gross. One of the scenes is where the Queen is picking out organs out of the of like this bird or the squirrel's body and like eating the body part and eating the organs, and it's like nasty. And there are some few scenes where she's naked, but you don't see anything. Obviously, you only see the back of her, and it's weird stuff. All around, who do I recommend this to? If you have a good knowledge, you don't have to have a good knowledge of Snow White, but I prefer you do, because if you don't know about Snow White and you see this movie, you're gonna get a totally wrong idea about what Snow White's about. But if you at least know something about Snow White and you like action movies, and if you like tales from the medieval times, you will enjoy this. There's just a little bit of humor. I wish there was more humor. If there was more humor, I would have enjoyed this more. But it takes itself so seriously. Me and my mom, like through the whole 2 hours of the movie, we were laughing our butts off at this because we were just laughing at how serious it tried taking itself. But if you like action movies, you're gonna enjoy this. See this. If it's a 3D option, don't see it in 3D. See it in 2D. It's just fine 2D. Don't get too crazy about it. Really consider it. Look at the review. See what you feel about it. But I don't think it was worth $14 to see. Maybe if it's like $6 or $5 even a ticket, I think it's worth seeing. But I don't think it's really worth seeing with a big group. It's for those who really enjoy, good cinematography, good technical aspects. But at the same time, there's some good acting. There's some good writing that really fit into the role. So, yeah, I mean, just look at it for yourself. If you feel that you can enjoy this movie, go take a look at it. If you feel that it's not going to be up your alley, don't see it. It all depends on the person in this step. Anyway, if I have another movie like this, a movie I just need to talk about, I'll look it up. I have other movies too I'm going to review on my Facebook page, but I won't give you my Facebook because it's only personal friends. Anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed this, and this is excaliburOneX signing out, and I will see you guys later.